Welcome back. Let's tab 59. Thanks for tuning in, troops. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you. I've had a couple of great comments from people, and that really does inspire me to keep going. Please, if you haven't already, if you could subscribe and help my little channel, help this old veteran out, it'd be much appreciated. So, what are we talking about today? So today I want to talk to you about the Kukri knife and the Gurkhas. Now, this is just a brief insight to the little chat. I'm talking about it because I just happen to have one of these. And I did spend a short time in the same garrison as some Gurkhas, not serving with them, just in the same garrison. So, the Kukri knife. The origins of the Kukri knife can trace back to about the 7th century, so it's been knocking around for a fair old time. Gurkha soldiers now get issued 2 of these. They get this one, which is the #1 service ceremonial kukri, which is quite nice. It's quite nice and shiny. It's got nice shiny brass pieces on it and a lovely shiny scabbard. Obviously this little plaque here on the top is just a presentation plaque to me. It doesn't normally have that. And then they get a second one, a #2 service kukri, which is a little bit more drab, and obviously that's the one for exercises and for operations. I don't have one of those. You could argue that the Kukri is probably the first Swiss Army knife in a way, because it really is a multi-tool. So let's have a look at it. Out in the rural areas, not Gurkha soldiers now, just Nepalese people, certainly out in the countryside, they use it. Every household's got one. It's got so many uses. You can see that it's quite heavy on this. It's thick bladed. You can see the thickness there down the blade, the back of the blade here. Very heavy, great for chopping. It'd be easy to chop up little bits of firewood with this, as well as killing people or whatever. So it's a real multi-tool. They can shave wood with it, chop wood with it, defend a household with it, chop meat up with it. It's got very, very, very versatile piece of kit. They also come in the scabbard, you see here, with 2 smaller little knives. So let's have a look at those. Now, I can't pronounce this very good. This is the first one. This is quite a sharp little blade on this one. And this one is called the Karda, the K-A-R-D-A, Karda. And that could obviously be used for skinning or gutting small animals or whatever. And also you could even cut up food and eat with it. So that's the little one, the sharp one. And then you get another one, and this one's called, hold on, the Shakamak, C-H-A-K-M-A-K, Shakmak. And this one's blunt. It's got a pointed on the end, but it's completely blunt. And that's used for burnishing the blade to sharpen another knife. So you get those 2 little bits with it. Now, also you'll notice on here, let's get this pencil, stop my finger. So you've got this little indentation here. You can just see it, maybe if I hold it a little bit closer. Now, there's many myths what that's for. Some people say it's the shape of a cow's foot and that's a sacred animal, etc. Or it's some other religious symbol. But the most common thought is that if you were killing something, or especially if you were in combat, blood would run down this blade, and when it got to this little indentation, this little notch, if you like, here, the blood would fall into that and drip off, and hence stop the blood running onto the handle and it becoming slippery for the user. That's the most common thought. I don't know for sure. Okay, there's another myth about the Gurkha's kukri. People will often say, you might have heard it before, that if a Gurkha soldier takes this out of his scabbard to clean it or to sharpen it or whatever, he can't put it back unless there's blood on the kukri. So in other words, he would have to cut himself before he put it back in its scabbard, its sheath. I don't believe that's true. I'm pretty sure that's a fable. I mean, never let the truth get in the way of a good story, etc. But I don't believe that to be true. But certainly, it's definitely a combat weapon. Now, here's an example for you. I'm going to read you a very short situation report from a Gurkha unit that were fighting in North Africa in World War II. And the situation report just had 3 lines in it. And the first line, second line, third, and it says this: enemy losses, 10 dead. Friendly casualties, 0. Ammunition expended, 0. So that tells you that unit killed 10 enemy soldiers. I'm not saying it was killed, but it might have been beaten up with a log, I don't know. But it sounds to me like they're reporting that they took on 10 enemy and killed them with their kukris. They didn't expend any ammunition at all. Okay, so that's the kukri, a brief outline of my presentational kukri. Just wanted to share that with you very briefly. Now what I'd like to talk to you about is the Gurkhas. And I don't want to go into big historical depth and bore you to death with all the stats and everything. What I would like to tell you about is one particular Gurkha in the 21st century fighting an action in Afghanistan. His name's Sgt Pun. Now, I'm going to read this short article. It won't take long, bear with me, but it's a very interesting article. It was September evening in Afghanistan's Helmand province. It was 2010, and Sgt Pun of the Gurkha Rifles was on duty in a 2-storey outpost. He heard some noises and found 2 insurgents attempting to lay an IED in a nearby road. He realised that he was surrounded. The night sky suddenly filled up with bullets and RPG fire. Taliban fighters sprung into the well-planned assault on Pun's outpost. Pun responded by pulling his machine gun from its tripod and holding it at the hip. He returned fire towards the oncoming Taliban fighters. He went through every round he had available before tossing 17 grenades at the attackers. When he was out of grenades, he picked up his Sgt service rifle and started using that. He even threw a landmine at the enemy. Unbelievable. As Pun defended his position, one Taliban fighter climbed the side of the tower adjacent to his guardhouse, hopped onto the roof and rushed him. Pun turned to take the fighter out, but his weapon jammed. Pun grabbed the tripod of his machine gun and tossed it towards the Taliban, which knocked the fighter off the top of the roof of the building. Pun continued to fight off the assault until reinforcements arrived. When it was all said and done, 30 Taliban lay dead. Pun was awarded a Conspicuous Gallantry Cross by Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace. Now that's the second highest award for bravery. You got the Victoria Cross and you got the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross. He said, "At the time I wasn't worried. There wasn't any choice but to fight. The Taliban were all around the checkpoint and I was alone. I had so many of them around me that I thought I was definitely going to die. So I thought I'd kill as many of them as I could before they kill me." In all, he fired off 250 rounds from his machine gun, 180 rounds of ammunition from his Sgt service rifle, threw 6 phosphorus grenades and 6 normal grenades, and 1 claymore mine. Pun comes from a long line of Gurkhas. His father served in the Gurkha Rifles, as did his grandfather, who received the Victoria Cross for an action in World War II in Burma. Now, that little extract really does sum up the Gurkhas and their mentality and fearless fighters they are. They would rather die than be a coward. They are absolutely fearless and some of the best soldiers in the British Army by far. Okay, well, thanks for watching that. If you did like it, give us a thumbs up. At the end, you know there's always going to be one top tabbing tip, top tabbing tip, top tabbing combat tip. Listen to this one. If it looks stupid, but it works, it isn't stupid. Remember that one, troops. See you on the next time. Keep watching, keep tuning in, keep giving the old thumbs up when you can. Stay safe, everybody. Remember, let's tab.